Hi guys. This video is to show you how to record your business transactions for Making Tax Digital. As you know, the government's brought in Making Tax Digital for sole traders that earn in the 26-27 tax year that earn more than 50,000 a year. And this is to show, and we basically set you up on a platform called Xero, Xero, which, and now I'm going to show you how to enter your income and your expenses because we have to report quarterly to HMRC now. I mean, before, as you know, we just reported once a year. We filed your tax return. Now we've got to do 4 tax returns a year and then do a final submission to HMRC. Now it's called Making Tax Digital because you've got to use some sort of software to get your transactions to HMRC. And we use this system called Xero, which we've set you up. So they're basically a couple of things you need to do. I've set up a test system here. So this is, you can see it's called Me Test. I wouldn't worry too much about all this stuff over the top. I'm going to show you basically what to do. The first thing you need to do is connect your bank account. So what you do is you go into accounting, bank accounts. You can see there's one already there. I called it a test account because I've just set up a test account just to show you. But what you do is you'll add bank account here, add bank account. Here, look, add bank account. And when you add bank account, it will come up with a list of the most popular ones. If you don't see them there, just search and you should be able to find the one that's your bank account. But it connects with most banks. I won't go through every single one because I'll just click on one, but it will ask you for authorization. It's fairly straightforward, you know. So once you've set up your bank account and connected, what it will do is it will import all your bank transactions into Xero. As I say, I've set up a test account and they'll appear here on the left. Okay. So what you when you import the bank statements or when you connect to the bank, it might ask you for a date. You only really want bank statements imported or connected from the 6th of April 26. You don't want anything before because that's been done the old way. So if it doesn't ask you, that's fine. We can always delete the old transactions if it brings in things before the 6th of April. But you'll see here, I've actually, as I say, I've just set up a test account and I've imported test transactions here. Okay. It'll just show you how it appears. So if you go home again, it's a bit slow. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. If you go home again, things are not updating very quickly, but there you go. On the left here is where the bank account appears. Then if you click reconcile items, this on the left, these items on the left is all your imported bank statements lines here on the left here, not on the right. This left-hand column is your imported bank statements. Okay, so I've imported a load of dummy transactions just to show you what you need to do. So these are your bank statement lines, the ones on the left. Now you need to categorize them into Xero, into what they are. So you'll see received and spent. So received, there'll be all your sales invoices or the amounts you receive from your customers. What I suggest you do is you issue a sales invoice for every receipt. You don't have to. For some of you, you can just actually just create a transaction. So there's a company called PS Limited. We could just PS Limited, and this is what is it? Well, it's a sale. So it's a sales. Sales are always code 200. You might want to put a description. Now I'm doing this video for non-VAT registered businesses. So sales. And then if you clicked OK, it will actually record that transaction in Xero. At the moment, they're not recorded. They're just sitting here as bank statement lines. Okay. Now you can do that, or the second way of getting your sales in, and this is the one I suggest you do, preferably to just putting them in from the bank statement line, is issue a sales invoice. Create an invoice. Actually, I just want to go back a little bit. I just want to go back. There's another receipt here for 123 Limited. I'm going to create the invoice for that. So, plus invoice 123 Limited. If there isn't a contact there for 123 Limited, it will ask you to create one. So we will create one. Issue date, let's put it a little bit before that. Let's put it on the 8th of April. I don't know, services, a description, services rendered. Quantity, I usually put 1, price 5,000. Always goes to 200 sales. There's no VAT because we're not VAT registered. And just, you can, if you want to email that to the client will get it for payment. You can approve an email. Oh, you need to add a due date. Maybe the 10th. You can approve an email. It will ask you for an email address there, and that will get sent to the client. But we're not going to email it, so we'll go cancel. We'll just, you'll just approve it. So it didn't go to the client, but it's recorded now in Xero. If I go back to the bank reconciliation screen that we were just on, home, reconcile. Now remember, these ones on the left are your bank statement lines. See, it's already matched it. We created a sales invoice and Xero's matched it against the bank statement line. Okay. and I just want to. It's there, so it's matched it against the bank statement line there. Now, I suggest for sole traders that you issue sales invoices rather than rather than record transactions direct from the bank statement. It's just better to do, especially if you have invoices at the month end that haven't been paid yet. So you might have done work for a client that hasn't been paid. They need to be recorded rather than just record things off the bank statement line. Better you issue a sales invoice for all your sales. But I just wanted to show you two ways. So that's receipts, okay, or your income. And to just show you how it's recorded, we have to file a quarterly return. That's got this month. Just we have to file a quarterly return. So again, you see the two sales invoices that we've just put into Xero, one from the bank statement and one from issuing an invoice, are there, and we can report that now to HMRC every month. If I click on that, you'll see the two sales invoices there. You can see they were entered different. One was received money, one was a receivable invoice. You issued a sales invoice. I suggest you issue sales invoices for every receipt, but there are certain clients that, they don't have to issue sales invoices. So it might be that you just post it off the bank statement line. Now, the second thing you have to look at is costs, your expenses. So we go back to the bank. It's a little bit slow today. I don't know why. And we've got all these amounts spent. Now I'll go through them in turn. Now, I'm not sure whether you guys have a separate bank account for your sole trader business or you just mix everything into one account. This is for people that have mixed everything into one account. So I can see that on the 7th of April, I spent £35 in the pub. Now, this is personal, so it's nothing to do with the sole trader business. Anything that's personal, you just create the transaction. You can see here, this is match. That'll be matching against an invoice. Create the transaction. If it says plus, then you add the contact. You'll choose an account. If it's personal, it all goes to something called owner's drawings. Owner's drawings. Okay. I mean, you can enter a description if you want, but it doesn't matter. And okay, same with cash. If you draw cash out, that's owner's drawings. Now, here's a funny one. I'll go through ones that are 100% business first, and then I'll go through the ones that we need to split. Maybe some of it's business and some of it's personal, So let's go to, here's one. It's called signable. Now, I know that this is a 100% business invoice, 100% business invoice. So the easiest way is is to do this is because we want to get a copy of the invoice into Xero so that we can see it at a later date. So you add detail. Can you see this little picture here, or the little sheet screen? If I click on that and upload file, I add signable there. So that will attach a copy of the invoice to this transaction, which is much better than keeping them in a filing cabinet somewhere and then having to try and search for what it is at a later date. You'll have everything in Xero. So description, this is for e-signing. What a description, quantity, 1, unit price. Now, this search is, these are the cost categories within Xero currently. You can add new ones if you want, but I put this that you can type in, I type in IT, software and consumables. There's no VAT. We're not, for most of you, you're not VAT registered. We can go through VAT registered clients another time, but there's no VAT. So you enter the gross amount, and you save the transaction. And then it's matched it against here with a copy of the invoice in Xero, and it's categorized that. The next is I spent that on the post office on postage, and I know that that's 100% business. Now there's another way to enter this using the Xero app on your phone. So you can take a picture of it. So I'll log into Xero, as I say, download Xero from the App Store. Okay, it will appear like something like that when you're in. There's a plus sign there. There's a plus sign there. Press the plus sign and it asks you, you probably can't see that, but there are various options. It says, and the one you want is add a receipt. Because this will always be for things that this is the post office or, stationery or something that you go and pay and you go outside and pay with your card. Where'd you spend it? This was the post office. It asks you, what was it for? Postage. When did you spend it? Well, it's got the 10th of April. Put in the date. Now it asks you, how did you pay? Now, obviously I paid this with the test account, otherwise it wouldn't appear here. Now, some of you may pay things via credit card, but that's a different conversation and a different video. This is for things that you've paid via your bank account, and I suggest you pay things via your bank account if they're for a sole trader. So it comes you how did you pay? You put in the bank account. It asks you to categorize the account. You can search. There is a category called postage, freight, and courier. There's no VAT. You enter the amount. In this case, it's 9.25. And then it asks you done. And top right, it says save. Now it saved that receipt. Now if I refresh this page, It's appeared, it's matched it because I put that into Xero as a transaction already. So for things that are 100% business, I suggest you keep a copy of the invoice in Xero by creating a transaction, either via bill or via receipt on your phone. That's the easiest way to do it. And just press OK. Now we can go back and look, and I can show you for this last quarter. All those transactions have been recorded. The sales, that bill that we entered for £34.80 from Signable, and the postage and freight, the post office bill of £9.25. Now this forms the basis of what we have to report on a quarterly basis to HMRC. So now I want to go back again to the bank account. And we still got 3 items left, but they're a little bit more complicated. So assume this is your mortgage. Now you've got to remember, you can, as a sole trader, you can claim a proportion of your home expenses. Okay, and part of that is mortgage interest. However, you're supposed to do a calculation on, square footage and how many hours you use. You're using your home for running your sole trader business. Obviously, you're not using it 24 hours a day because you're sleeping some of the time, and you're not using the whole of your flat or your house. You're just using part of it. So you've got to do a calculation. If you've done a calculation and you've sort of assumed that, I don't know, say if it all, let's just assume this is all mortgage interest rather than capital repayment, because you can't claim any of your capital repayment back, only part of your mortgage interest. Let's assume that 10% that you've decided can only be claimed against business. Again, add detail. Now you can split this to personal, and let's say personal's 90%. So we're just 1,750 times 0.9. 1,575. Now the account is owner's drawings. Remember, anything personal. Owner drawings. No VAT. Business mortgage interest. Mortgage interest. Interest. The rest is, what is 1,750? 175. And that is use. There's a category called use of home. So put that as use of home. Now don't overestimate the amount you're going to claim back, because HMRC can be pretty tight on this stuff. If you claim back 50% of your mortgage interest, that's probably too much, especially if you work out how much square footage you actually use in your home and how many hours do you actually work. And then save the transaction. You can see the total amount's 1,750. Save transaction. and it will match against the amount you spent. So that's mortgage interest. Here's Cox. That might be professional indemnity insurance or insurance to use for the business. So maybe it's 100%. I think I entered this before. That's why it's coming up. If you enter it once, Xero will remember what the category is, and it will populate these. It will populate these fields. Enter description. You don't have to enter a description. EDF, that might be an electricity bill. Again, I'll press OK. Again, add detail here. We assume that, again, 10% is personal. Sorry, 90% is personal. 225, and 10% is business. Let's just call it EDF, not business. And yeah, personal goes to owner's drawings, remember, and this goes to light, heat and power, business. Remember, all personal stuff goes to owner's drawings, and then save the transaction. And then, battery's running low, and then OK. So I suggest you do this on a monthly basis. I mean, we have to report quarterly, but do it on a monthly basis. Now you'll be able to see that. Where is it now? This quarter. Just update it. You'll be able to see that all your transactions are in there now. Yeah. Oh, we made a mistake. Tell you why we made a mistake. That transaction should go to use of home, not light, heat and power. It's just, you could put it to light, heat and power, but I wouldn't. I'd put all the things you're claiming that you're paying you're paying personally, put it to use of home. So we can actually edit this now and put that to use of home. And then we go back, just have a look. Yeah, so use of home now has got everything in there. So you can see this would form the basis of what we report to HMRC. So for the first 3 months, well, this is only, these are only transactions, So use of home, we can see if I click on use of home, we can see what we reported was nationwide mortgage interest and EDF 25. So I hope this this is how you should start anyway. If you've got any questions, please do give us a call. But I hope that's been useful. And any questions, of course, send me an email. Thanks very much. Bye.